Hey, so this is a secret. He doesn't know we're doing this, and I'm on the phone with an unnamed co-conspirator who is going to say some stuff about Rowdy. So tell me about Rowdy. Give me the dirt.
How rowdy is Rowdy?
So he has a show coming up in Portland on the 18th.
He does.
And I love his artwork. It's super psychedelic and powerful. And he was a bit nervous about coming on today. And he did a really great job. So we're actually recording this after the fact, and he doesn't know about it. So
he's way too humble for his own good. His art, I mean, standing in front of his art, you can get lost in it. And he has such amazing talent. He has a passion for people, and what he does is he listens and he observes, he paints the things that he experiences, and he has, all he needs is a paintbrush and an open mind, and he makes magic. And
so how big are these canvases? It's hard to get a perspective. How big are these paintings?
Well, it depends. As long as I've known Rowdy, he's always painting for people for free, just to inspire people. And from the smallest little details to the largest that you can imagine, he's always just ready to go, ready to paint. And that's what he does. And he does very well.
Yeah, I was super excited to talk to him. And so the plan is that, if you're hearing this, the show's already up. You know, it's already been done because if you're listening to this, of course, it's been published. But the idea is that we're going to put this video together and blast it all over Portland and the country, and see how much interest we can generate for his artwork.
Absolutely.
Because he has a super compelling story that he shared with us that you're going to hear next. And so it was cool that you wanted to say some good things about him. And, you know, like I said, we're not going to let him know until it's there, until he sees it himself and hears it. So, can I use your name? Because we're still undisclosed.
Walker.
Who?
Who? What?
Who is this?
Amelia.
Amelia? What? Oh my goodness! Now I realize why this was such a cool conversation. All right. News flash. Rowdy, Roseland Theater, July 18th. Tickets are $25. It's like an event. It's not just like a boring art gallery showing. There's music and apparently an open bar, which is like what? And
no, his art is amazing. It's dark as fuck and beautiful. It's go check it out.
Check it out. Go to his website. The link is in the description. Click it. Go. That's all we need to know. All right.
Go get you some. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later. Hello. Welcome to the V2V podcast. My name is Aurelius, and today we are continuing with our interview series. Today we're talking with an artist by the name of Rowdy. That's his real name. And he has an art exhibition coming up at the Roseland Theater in Portland, Oregon on July 18th. And I thought it would be a cool idea to talk to him about his artwork and some of the inspiration that has allowed him to create this stuff, and just kind of get a little deeper into what Rowdy is all about. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to delve right into this.
All right. So when I was reading your bio, it mentioned, or you mentioned, that you were born into art. And
what's that? I'm sorry, I had a little...
No, there was some feedback there. Yeah, a little technical glitch, which is always cool. We appreciate the chaos and the noise. It's fun. So,
well, I'm in a spaceship, so...
well, perfect. So what does it mean to be born into art, as you said?
Well, my mom's an artist, and she's been my inspiration and my hero for most of my life. and she was always, no matter how poor we were, and we lived in the outback of Alaska with no running water, no electricity till I was 8 years old. So it was me and her doing arts and crafts. She always had a place for me to do artistic things after school or whatever, and she was always really involved with it too. She was a scrimshander up there, doing the like scenery on ivory tusks and making them into cribbage boards and stuff, and doing like Tlingit and Yucatan Indian like jewelry and stuff like that, and paintings. And she's just really crafty and stuff. Like I didn't have TV until I was 8 years old, so it was like me and my mom doing stuff with our imagination, and she really inspired me to do. I got my creative side from my mom, and I got my common sense from my dad. And my mom, she always had it. She was trying to cultivate me being ambidextrous, which I am. I think with both hands, I can write with both hands and all that stuff. But she always told me, the one thing I can remember that I think that applies to the way I do my artwork is that never to erase if I can help it, but to just use my imagination and make that challenge that I had the focal point of my piece if I had to. And so that kind of like translates into how I do my artwork now. But I only started painting 5 years ago, and before that I'd just draw. I had I thought I was pretty open-minded, but I had a lot of blocks, or a lot of challenges, or I thought what am I looking for here? Limits that I had. Right. And I just started painting 5 years ago, and I've finished probably 30 times the amount of artwork that I did my whole life drawing. I can't believe the way that it helped change my life, as far as it's a positive outlet, for a lot of negativity that you can encounter on a road of life, paved and potholed with vice and virtue. You know what I mean? And so it's like I feel like I'm like a waste treatment center, regurgitating that onto the canvas instead of doing things that are destructive to my own future. I know
that's really interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned about not erasing. There's a concept that's common with writing, is that one should never edit on the page, edit as you're going. I think it applies to visual art too. You don't want to start second guessing yourself as you're creating something. Right. You can go back and tidy things up after the fact, or but you want to kind of finish the process without thinking too much about what you're doing a lot of times, so that what is produced is more a result of something that is
inside you,
more organic and coming more directly from you without a lot of thought.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the next thing, you could kind of brush on it, but you were talking about being artistically blocked or reaching plateaus and limits that you encountered. Now, what about the therapeutic side of creating it? What does that do for you personally? Actually, producing?
For me, that's like my meditative state. It's like like a Tibetan monk, sits there, a better part of the day, probably, meditating, unlocking doors in his mind. And it's the only time that I can really, now playing music too, but mainly the painting. It's just the painting. It relaxes me. Drawing stresses me out, because I do my artwork as I go. I do it finished throughout the whole thing, And so if I'm doing that 3/4 of a picture and it's drawing, now I can't just go over it with paint, and just keep turning it into something else. It's finalized, And so if I have a third of it left, I'm sitting there just ooh. I don't want to make this. I don't want to make this a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake right here and have this whole thing be garbage in my mind. But to other people, they look at it and go, "Oh, that's great," I'm like, it's not even done, But
sure. Yeah, there's another concept with music too that is interesting too. The idea that there aren't any wrong notes. That and you're playing something, and if you find that you've made a mistake, the idea is that you repeat it.
Do it again, yeah. That's what I've heard.
So that it becomes not a mistake anymore. Now it's actually part of the composition itself, because you consciously have done it again. That's interesting too, especially with drawing or visual arts. If you find yourself in like glitching it, like the idea of repeating the mistake is interesting too. I kind of like those concepts where even if you don't necessarily like something,
doesn't mean everybody else.
It's interesting when other people like find the artwork that isn't your favorite to be like something that they really appreciate too. That's that people who create art can encounter.
Yeah, you're correct on all that. I just started playing drums for the last like year and a half, 2 years. I got a drum set like about a year ago, and I tell you,
you kind of faded away there. Can you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, fine. But
okay,
the start of that sentence kind of like.
Oh, okay. Well, I just recently started teaching myself how to play the drums like about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and it's the same thing with like painting. You know, I refuse to look up anything on it. You know, I don't even know what the brushes do. I don't even know what the process is supposed to be like. I just smear paint and I just bang on those drums, you know, and it ends up sounding all right and looking all right, I guess, you know. But I've never had my artwork or anything like that exposed before. I've been kind of reluctant to even sell any of it because it's like I feel like it's a piece of me, you know, and so I feel like if I had any outside influence or any kind of like training or schooling like that, it would take away from the like what you were saying, you know, the rawness of it, the organic side of it. You know what I mean?
Well, so you started painting. You said you started painting about 5 years ago.
Yes.
So how did you express your before discovering painting? I know you mentioned music and now drumming. So in your little bio on your website, you mentioned that you used the fake it till you make it process.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like? I mean, and are you still doing that? You know, are you still faking it to make it in some sense?
It's definitely I'm still faking it till I make it. I had one of my bosses tell me that one time when I was building yachts up in Washington, super mega yachts, or $36 million yachts,
wow.
And
that's interesting too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he told me his name was Phil Burness, and he was the overseer of all three plants, and he said you know, well, just fake it till you make it, and I took that to heart. You know, we really don't know what the hell's going on really as human beings. We only know what the person before us that was here before us is telling us now. So it's like, I mean, you can't rewrite everything, but I always try to find a different way to do things. You know what I mean? And
I have to pause you for a second. So I get it. The art stuff. No, that's cool. Like fake it till you make it. Now, I do have a question about building super yachts. It's fake it till you make it building boats.
Oh, yep.
Well,
I did that.
I mean, you still want to boat though. Like, you know, I'm just joking, but like that a super yacht builder would be like, oh, it's cool, dude. Just fake it till you make it.
That's what he did.
It's gonna stay buoyant. Like, don't worry, we're not gonna.
It's cool. Thanks for the $36 million. Let me know how it works out.
Exactly right. Some guy's like, hey, he's like, yeah, we faked it. It's cool. Like, you think we figured it out. So it floats.
Well, I think the fake it till you make it comes down to I trust my deductive reasoner. You know what I mean? My deductive reasoning.
Right.
My problem solver. Yeah. They come up with challenges, and I would just I would find a solution to it. It's like I can get to the core of it, and then find out how to make it work. You know, and that helped me advance in that company, and helped me advance in my life exponentially after I started looking at it like that. That perspective really helped me out a lot, you know. And
sure, that's interesting. I love boats and sailing. That's just a coincidental thing.
They're really nice.
I used to, as a kid, go from. I live in Southern California, and I used to go from Long Beach to Catalina Island. It's like a 26-mile sailboat trip that takes like 8 hours if you just go sailing. If you have a motor, it's about a 2-hour trip. But a friend of the family and I used to do that all the time. And it was just like the most amazing thing to be out there in the middle of nowhere, you know, essentially. And it's super cool. I want to. It's not really. I don't really have a lot of opportunity to do that. And the joke is that don't buy a boat. Find a friend who has a boat.
Right. Yeah, you know, that's the words to live by right there. Hey, let's take your boat out this weekend. Right. Yeah, they were the biggest fiberglass boats in the world when I was building them. You know, was the one. They were only 1 inch. They were 1 inch shorter than the insurance companies would insure it. So 164 foot 11 inches.
Oh my gosh!
And I learned how to build molds. You know, like the negative space around things and plugs for fiberglass. You know, and so that right there helped me. After I moved on from that job, it also helped me think in a different a different direction, I guess, you know, and that also I've applied to my artwork and stuff. You know, it's like, I guess you'd call it progressive art. My mom compares it to like Salvador Dali. I just smear paint around until it looks like what it does.
Yeah, I really see that. So
yeah.
So the next question I have is I want to know about your upcoming show, and is there, you know, there's no right answer to this, but is there a specific theme that you have with the stuff that you're showing?
I've just, you know, this is my first time showing, and I have to come up with like names for all of them now, and I have to like paper them and make them, you know, like look professional and everything, and I have to have a backdrop. Yeah. But the theme is just it's just raw. It's a positive outlet for negativity that I absorb from the world, and so I just like to have people come away with the originality of it, and to know that I don't even know I don't even plan on what I'm painting. So it's just like, that's just raw insides coming out. I call it my gallery Inside Out. You know what I mean? That's what I call my gallery, Inside Out creation. Excuse me. Okay. Because it's the bad things. It's the turmoil, or the grit of life. You know, just I mean, I could take it in so many different directions, and I used to when I was younger. You know, I used to be a hothead, and you know, my name is Rowdy. You know, my dad was a biker, a 1%er, and you know, and I bounced back and forth between Alaska and the lower 48, and even Hawaii. You know, and so it's like I had a chip on my shoulder, I guess you could say. You know, and so it's like that helped me get away from it. So I'd just like to, you know, everybody to come away with it, that people can change it, and people can take a negative thing and turn it into a positive. You know. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
You kind of answered my last question. It's that, you know, what would you like your audience, people to come away with, and you kind of explained that it's that purging of negativity, you know, and looking to something more positive, and in looking at your artwork, you can see that, like, it's very psychedelic and really interesting. And so we've been having, if this is just the audio version that you're listening to, I would encourage you to look at the YouTube version, because we've been having some of Rowdy's artwork up on the video, so that you can, as a listener, actually see kind of what you're going to see in person. So I guess the last thing I want to do is kind of have you, you know, plug your show again, and
all right, cool.
Let everybody know kind of where and when and what's going on, and then we're gonna get this up and see if we can get people, you know, some more exposure to, not just in Portland but nationally. You know, we've got listeners all over the world, and so this is it's really interesting. I've spoken to a few other artists, but never with a visual medium. It's mostly been you know, music and and storytellers and things like that. So this is a new thing for me too. So just let us know kind of the details about the show. Like
it's for the raw natural born artists. .com. I submitted my stuff, and the curator called me back, and the show's on July 18th, and I've got to sell 20 tickets to get in there, you know, to pay for my spot, or pay $500. And so, you know, I mean, if anybody would like to go to that show, you know, you can come on that raw natural born artist, and then select the city, Portland, and then it'll show you the artist there, and then you go to Rowdy, and you can purchase a ticket right online, you know. But it's cool that they got live music. They do fashion. It's an open bar. You know, it's like a party. You know, they're loud and they're obnoxious and they're for the independent artists. And so, you know, I'm excited
cool.
about
I think $20 is a pretty fair price for that. I will also provide a
$25 for the ticket. I just have to.
Gotcha. Cool.
I can get 11 left that I need to sell, you know, but some of my friends.
You have 11 left?
Yeah, well, 11 that I need to get into the show.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get there. We'll do our best to let people know about what's going on, you know, and see if we can give you a little boost.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I really want to thank you for coming on and talking today. It was fascinating, and yeah. So good luck with everything, and
all right, thank you.
We'll do a follow up and see how things went after the fact, and, or you know, anytime you can always you've got something going on, you can let us know, and we will always be glad to you know, to host you on the show and talk about what else is, you know, new.
All right, cool. You should have never said that, because I'm going to be calling you every day now. Just like,
all right, you're becoming a regular, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff to talk about. You know, we also do a regular number podcast where we talk about anything and everything.
That's cool.
I think we're up to episode 44 right now. This channel has been up for about a year, so you know, I'm not putting that past the possibility of you on as a guest. That'd be cool. Right.
But hey, I appreciate you having me on here. All right, thank you very much. Bye.
Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Bye.